What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the War Within, and today I'll be tackling a question that I received once or twice in the comments of my videos. And if you've been watching my videos for lately, and even the last couple of weeks or the last couple of months, I've been making a bunch of videos on how I'm planning to make gold in the War Within. And the thing is, I'm trying to highlight a lot of different ways to make gold. I've even had certain videos that are only talking about a very individual way to make gold, like for example focusing on this certain enchants, focusing on profession equipment, focusing on milling herbs, making ink, making crafting reagents, a lot of different ways to make gold with professions in the War Within. Now, with all those videos, there's one question I've seen once or twice, and that is, if I only had to pick, if I could only pick two professions, if I only had one character in the entire game, which professions would I choose? So that's going to be the topic of today's video. I wanted to highlight at least two different paths that you can take when it comes to choosing two professions, if you're only planning to play one character at any point in the War Within. So if you're not jumping on the alt army train or anything else, you just have one character and that's it. That is the question that I'll be tackling today. So, yeah. Now, once again, I'll be talking about two different paths in this video, so path 1 and path 2, just to give you two different options here of which route to take, because people make gold differently. And when it comes to professions as well, there are so many different ways to make gold. You have high sell rates, less profit, and then you have more profit, lower sell rate, and then you even have the crafting order system as well. So there are different ways of making gold, even with crafting professions. It's not just craft and sell. There's more things to it. So with that being said, let's get right into it, and I'm just going to start this off by saying that for those of you who have my gold making guide for the War Within, which I'm not going to talk that much about right now, don't worry, but once again there's a link to it down below. If you haven't got it yet, there's a link to it down below and more information down below, and I'll be talking more about it later in the video. So for those of you who have my gold making guide, if I had to choose two professions and nothing else, I would go for something like enchanting plus alchemy, and the reason for that is that we have a gold making strategy involving one of those professions that is currently behind closed doors and exclusive. So that's like a video, or yeah, it's a video that is only available to people that have my gold making guide that talks about a pretty broken gold making strategy. That's this video right here, which is unlisted / private, and you would have to have the gold making guide to get access to that one, and it talks about once again a very good gold making strategy. Now if you don't have the gold making guide, there are still different ways to make gold here, and path number 1 would be something like Inscription plus engineering. Now on this character we have Inscription, so I'm going to talk about the Inscription part right here, and for Inscription I would either craft reagents or make ink. You want to hyper focus on one of them and make it as profitable as possible. And what that could look like is when you go to right here, you can choose to put 30 points into Pursuit of Perfection to give you more skill points, and after that you have to either choose inks, milling, or ciphers. Now, milling is kind of out of the question here because there are so little knowledge points when it comes to milling that the profitability for this will be out of the window very fast. Now, making ink on the other hand, or making ciphers, just make a decision, doesn't really matter which one. I'm gonna have both. So like, I'm gonna have one character with ciphers and one with inks, but you can just choose whichever one you believe the most in. So in that case, you would put 30, let's just go with inks, right? You would put 30 knowledge points right here, then another 30 into improved inks, so that's 60 knowledge points. After that you would then go over to Pursuit of Knowledge and max out everything here as well. Now the one thing you might not care that much about is the Eureka talent tree for the ingenuity, but even at the start that's actually important at the start. But you would want to focus on this one for 30 knowledge points, this one for 30 knowledge points, and this one for 30 knowledge points as well. Now this one gives you ingenuity, resourcefulness, and multicraft for every single point spent, and this one you hyper focus on multicraft, and this one you hyper focus on resourcefulness. Now multicraft will simply make it so that when you craft ink you will craft more of them. So going down here right now to the shadow ink for example, we have 10% multicraft, and that is without any good tools or any good accessories, so we still have 10% multicraft, giving you more inks back every single craft. Now resourcefulness resourcefulness will also save you gold for your craft. So let's just say that right now the price of the ink is the same as the materials. Now I'm still gonna make profit because I will either save gold from proccing resourcefulness or I will make additional ink from proccing multicraft. So a lot of the times what you will see is that crafts will baseline lose gold, but sometimes they will break even, but baseline they will lose gold, and your profit comes from these stats. You either want to use your concentration to get the highest quality you can, or you want to max out multicrafting or resourcefulness. And by hyper-focusing so many knowledge points into, for example, once again, making inks, you are the best ink crafter in the game, and ink is further used by other scribes that will then want the highest quality ink that they can, which if you go into, for example, careful carvings for profession equipment, you will not have the skill points to make the highest quality ink you can, so you need to rely on other people making that ink and selling you that ink. So when you go down this path number 1 here for scribes, you are focusing on ink and you're crafting inks for other scribes. It's a crafting reagent and has a very high sell rate, and you can directly sell it on the auction house. So that is Inscription from path number 1, but that is only one profession, you still have room for one more. And for the other one, you're going to engineering for the same purpose. You're going to be hyper-focusing on crafting reagents in the engineering genre, which means that you are hyper-focusing on something called parts. In this case, you want to spend 40 knowledge points into inventing, 40 knowledge points into parts, and you can also spend some points into ingenious for the ingenuity. And the major reason why is this one right here. So when you spend 15 points into ingenious, you will get this. Whenever you invent, you gain inventor's guile, which increases multicraft, resourcefulness, and ingenuity by 150 for 12 hours. And I'm just going to say it right now, I would get this as soon as I can, which means you would want to put, I think it's 10 points, 10 points right here into inventing to then learn a subspec. And the first subspec I would choose is ingenious, so 10 points into inventing, then 15 points into ingenious, and then back and getting 10 more points into inventing to then go down to parts and then max out parts. After you have maxed out parts and you have 15 over here right now, you would then go back to inventing and put in the last 20 points here as well. Now in total this is 40 plus 40 plus 15, so 95 knowledge points to max this out. And after this, like after you have put in that 95 knowledge points, you can keep improving the actual profitability here by, for example, doing this one, the Scrapper. Scrapper gain plus 3 resourcefulness towards all engineering crafts per point spent in the specialization, so you will just save more gold from your regular crafts. You can also max this one out for the ingenious part, so you can right here increase the rate of which you pilfer. This one gain plus 15 ingenuity, and at the end reduces the concentration cost on all engineering crafts by 10%. Now if we go over to parts, and we can go over to some of the parts that I can currently make right here. We have the Chaos Circuit, for example, 410 recipe difficulty. Then we have the Entropy Enhancer, the same difficulty there as well. You have the Safety Switch, and we have the Gyrating Gear, handful of Bismuth Bolts, and the Whimsical Wiring. Now, all of these reagents you can make, and they will all what am I trying to say? Give you profit based on resourcefulness, multicraft, and ingenuity, all of which are stats that you are focusing on by getting as much as possible from this talent tree or the profession knowledge points that you are spending. Now the same thing applies here as well, that you will be selling the highest quality reagents that you can to other engineers that will then further use them in craft. Like for example, let's say that I personally want to make cogwheels and I am spec'd into making cogwheels. I will then not be able to get quality 3 materials unless I use my concentration on that, but I want to save my concentration for the cogwheels, so I will rely on other people making these bolts for me, the gyrating gear for me, and the entropy enhancers for me. The same thing goes for example, the goggles as well and the equipment. If you want to make that, you want to have the, well, not for this, but like some of the equipment that has a high difficulty, you need to have the highest quality materials and reagents that you can. And for example, if you're crafting equipment, then you will have to spend your knowledge points into the engineered equipment tree, which means you will not have enough knowledge points to spend them into the inventing tree. So you will not be able to get rank 3 materials by yourself, and that is where you and I come into play. We make these materials to sell them to other people, and you're hyper focusing on crafting reagents that have a high sell rate. So path number 1 for both engineering and inscription will be based on high sell rate items that you can just craft in bulk, put them on the auction house, and they should sell very quickly. Now for path number 2, we are switching things up, and now instead of focusing on crafting reagents, we are focusing on profession equipment. When it comes to the War Within, every single person will want to have 1 brand new profession tool and 2 brand new accessories, and they will also be heavily incentivized to upgrade them from green to blue. So most people will start out with having 1 green tool and 2 green accessories, and over time they will swap those out for 1 blue tool and 2 green accessories, which means that every single character, not just player, but every single character in the War Within will basically want to buy 3 of the best green tools they can for week 1, and then starting in week 2 and so on, they will start buying the rare tools as well at the highest quality that they can. And this is where you can come in and make a bunch of gold, first of all in the first week by selling the green tools at the highest quality you can with the gear with the best stats. So for example, green tools with multicraft will be absolutely banging early on for crafting, so you can focus on crafting that at once again the highest quality that you can. For this, profession number 1 will be engineering, and for this you would want to go into engineered equipment and focus on getting to profession tools. So for that, you would then go here, put in 40 knowledge points here. Don't have to, but this one will just give you skill points for all equipment. Then you have 20 knowledge points here, and then you finally have 30 knowledge points here as well. Maxing this one out would be 90 knowledge points in total, and you want to get yourself down to profession gear as soon as possible just to unlock it, because by unlocking this you can now learn advanced profession equipment recipes from studying scribbled notes. Now, scribbled note is something you will find whenever you are inventing, pilfering through parts, scouring through scraps, doing all of these things. You will find those notes, and then you can use those notes and get brand new recipes. And if you get profession equipment recipes, well, now you can start making gold. So TLDR, get this as soon as you can, even if you just have to put in, I think it's 10 knowledge points again, so 10 knowledge points to learn a subspec. Put in 10 knowledge points here as well to learn a subspec, or actually it's 5, so 10 knowledge points, then 5, and then after 15 points, you can learn this. Don't even have to put in any points, just learn this to have a chance to find the brand new recipes for profession equipment. And after that you can either max this one out, or go back and max this one out, or this one out, in whatever order. Now maxing this one out fully will once again be 90 knowledge points, and after that you can actually go over here as well to get this one, for example, and gain +1 skill towards all engineering crafts for the inventing part. Then you can go to ingenious, or you can go to scrapper to increase your profitability from all the crafts. So as early as possible, you want to get yourself to the 200 recipe difficulty or 200 skill to be able to craft the guaranteed highest quality of green tools and green accessories. So this one, for example, the Bismuth Fisher Friend, is 250 difficulty, which is quite a lot when it comes to professional equipment, but you really get there fairly fast. And when it comes to the rare ones, as you can see, they're 490, and some people will start to want these even in week 1. And as an engineer, you make a bunch of tools. I actually have a list right here, if I can pull this one up. This is from my spreadsheet for the War Within, which shows you which professions makes which tools and which accessories. As you can see, engineering makes 3 tools, well, 4 if you count fishing. So engineering makes tools for tailoring. If you've been watching my videos, you know that tailoring is a huge profession, especially for the alt armies out there. So a lot of people will need somebody with engineering to make their tools for their tailoring alt armies. And engineering is also used for tools in engineering, so other engineers will also need you to make their tools, and for jewel crafting and for fishing. In addition to that, it's used in quite a few accessories as well, so engineering is just overall a very good profession when it comes to making tools. Now, the second profession that I would focus on here would be leatherworking, because once again, as you can see, leatherworking makes a bunch of accessories specifically. The only really accessories, but as you can see in the accessory 2 slot, it's almost only leatherworking, and in the accessory 1 slot as well, it is a lot of leatherworking as well. Alternatively, you could use blacksmithing, because blacksmithing makes all of the tools for gathering, for herbalism, mining and skinning, and they want to have their tools as soon as possible, just like everyone else. And blacksmithing also makes tools for leatherworking and blacksmithing, and also makes a bunch of accessories. So blacksmithing might actually be better than leatherworking, but they're both absolutely worth picking up, and in that case you are once again focusing on profession equipment. Now, over there in the specialization points, you once again put in all of the specialization points to focus on making profession equipment at the highest quality that you can, and that's basically it. So path number 1, just to recap here, path number 1 is Inscription plus engineering, focusing on crafting reagents and proccing multicraft plus resourcefulness to make yourself as much gold as possible, and you're focusing on high sell rates, directly sellable crafting reagents. Path number 2 is focusing on profession tools and accessories, basically profession equipment that everyone will want to have, and there will be a huge rush for this, especially in week 1, but even week 2 and week 3, so you will make a lot of gold super early. That being said, path number 2 might make you less profit over time, because once people have their tools, they will not keep buying them, they just need the tools once. But when it comes to path 1, the crafting reagents, people want those throughout the entire expansion, and you might make gold for a long time. In addition to all of that, there's a hidden path 3, which is literally picking up herbalism plus mining, flying around gathering things. So hopefully that clarifies how I'm looking at gold making in the War Within, and once again, path 1 and path 2, both are crafting professions, which if you only have one character and you don't farm the materials for yourself, then obviously you have to buy the materials like herbalism plus mining, so ores and herbs, you have to buy those, right, to then start making gold with crafting, which means that you need to have gold, or you need to have a farming character, or both. So the more gold you have, the more you will basically climb ahead here, but you don't need to have that much gold to get started. Let's just say you double your gold every single time, and you start with 5,000, you then double 5,000 to 10,000, you double that to 20,000, then 40,000, then 80, and so on. Somebody who already has 1,000,000 gold, he or she would then skip to step 20 in the process when it comes to doubling. Meanwhile, you have to start from 5,000, so you will have to double your profit a lot more times to get to the same place. But you can definitely start with crafting professions like this, even if you only have 10,000 gold, 5,000 gold. Just start small, sell for profit, use the profit you make to buy more materials, craft again, and just repeat that process over and over again until you have millions. Now, if you want to have access to more ways of making gold with professions, check out my War Within Goldmaking Guide if you haven't yet. We cover a lot of different ways to make gold with professions in this Goldmaking Guide, where we highlight pretty much every single way to make gold with professions in the War Within, and how to spend your knowledge points to maximize the amount of gold you're actually making. In addition to that, we have a bunch of gold farms in that guide, both solo gold farms and group gold farms, which you guys can do at the launch. One of the farms I think will make millions, by the way. I think it will be absolutely insane, and it's in that guide. In addition to that, when you buy the guide, you will get access to a private Discord server where I give you guys more more goldmaking information, resources, spreadsheets, and early access to videos, and exclusive videos. At the moment of making this video, for example, we have 4 videos in exclusive access. That means that when you buy the guide, you also get 4 videos that will never go public on YouTube, and an early access video. Actually 2 early access videos. So right now we have 4 exclusive videos and 2 early access videos that you will get access to when you buy the guide. So once again, check it out through the link down below in the pinned comment, and if you do buy the guide, thank you so much. Your support is directly what allows me to spend so much time in the beta itself, and when the expansion comes out, I plan to absolutely no life and find the best ways to make gold, and you are what makes that possible. So, thank you so much. Either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below, and I would really like to hear how you guys are planning to make gold mainly in the comments as well, so let me know in the comments down below how you are planning to make gold, and if you had to only choose 2 professions and you went into the expansion with only 1 character, which professions would you take and why? Let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like as well, and thank you for watching. I'll see you again in the next video very soon.